adopt?
I haven't done that in years. I used to, yeah. Ethel Keuer,
How old are you going to be on the
85.
20th? Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's coming up in about a week.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in West Webster, and I lived there for a long time. I went to Webster High School, graduated from there. And then after I got married, then I moved to Pittsford.
Webster must have been a very small town, huh? 'Cause it's grown a lot in the last...
Yeah, it has grown quite a bit. Yeah. In fact, my sister still lives over in there on Bay Road in Webster. Where I was living in, on Van Boris Road, they were going to make housing development. So then I had to find a place to live with my children. And so I went through on Marsh Road, and they had small houses, just what I wanted, but it was $32,000 and with a mortgage, and I knew I couldn't afford that. So then I went through the village of Pittsford, and I see this house up for rent or for sale, and I told the owner that they were making a housing development where I lived, and of course my two children were working at the time, and he says, if you have $1,000 between it, you can have the house. And at that time, that house, when I did buy it, was only $21,000. And now, if you buy it, it's going to be a little more than that, because it's right in the village of Pittsford.
What was the village of Pittsford like back then? What year was that?
In '69 is when I moved in there. Oh, it was a very nice town. I had a lot of friends, and I had a neighbor across the street. Name was Keith, and he'd come over and mow my lawn for me after my children got older and moved away. And so he'd come over and mow my lawn for me, do things if I needed anything. And that house where I was living was about 46 years. 45 years, because I wasn't in there last year. Yeah, there's a lot of changes. Well, he passed away when he was real young. He was only 43, because he drank a lot. And between drinking and eating a lot, he overtaxed his heart, and he passed away in 1966.
How old were your kids then?
How old were you, Howard?
I was 16.
He was 16. If you were 16.
16.
Joanne was 17, and Bob was 15.
Yeah.
They were a year apart. After they got married and moved out, no, you were still there.
No, I was still there.
Yeah, they were still there when I worked at the Fairport Baptist Home. And I worked there for 23 years.
What were you doing there?
I was a housekeeper. They had two sections. They had the ones that was in good health, and that's the floor I was working on, that first floor. And then they had one that was a little sicker up on the second floor.
So it's somewhat like St. Anne's then, we are now.
Yeah, some of them like that.
So you were one of these caregivers. So that must give you a unique perspective when they're helping you, huh? You're probably appreciative then.
I was the housekeeper, so
Oh, you did the cleaning.
I was a cleaning, yeah. No, Joanne was out. She got married to Franklin.
So she was living in Williamson.
Yeah.
Outside of Webster there.
Before Sodas.
Yeah.
And you had another son.
Then I had a brother, but he passed away. He had, cancer? He had cancer. He was
33.
Oh, 33.
Well, I raised them all and kept them. I didn't have to say much to them. They did helped out and everything, but I needed help. The only one I had trouble with sometimes was my daughter. She'd get up, she also worked at the home, and she'd get home and lay on the couch and watch TV. So when I get home, of course, we had different hours, and so when I said, when I got home, it was almost supper time. It was a little after 4, and I said to her, "Get off your buns and help me get supper." No, she wouldn't.
No, she wouldn't do it. When I was 16, I had a job. I worked at the Jefferson Road School. I'm still there. I've been there 45 years now. Well, somebody told me about this job at the school. So I worked there part-time at first. Then afterwards then they asked me if I wanted to work full-time. So I did.
Yeah, you was working before I was. Yeah. Yeah.
Were you okay financially when he passed away? Or?
Yeah. With their help, and then when I got a job where then we could pay the bills and have everything myself.
West Webster and what it was like when you were growing up. This is in the late 20s, early 30s, Depression era, and was that like the real country, like rural area?
It was like farmlands and a lot of not too much building up. It was mostly like farmlands.
Did you live on a farm?
Well, we had a garden out and back. And we'd go out and do the weeding and help my dad do the stuff like that.
What'd your dad do?
He worked at Webster Basket Company. I had 2 other sisters and 2 brothers.
Was life tough in the Depression?
Yeah, it was a little tough, it was. Well, there wasn't much that you could because my dad wasn't making much money, and of course at that time the prices weren't that high. I mean, you can go to the store and buy candy or anything for 5 cents or 10 cents. Now look, it's about 3 times as much now.
Were you able to get food though, because it was farmland and there was always food?
Yeah, well, we had the farmland, so we didn't have to buy vegetables and stuff because we had them. We grew them all. The only thing we had to buy if we wanted a little meat or something like that, meat or bread or milk.
Father didn't make much money, but he was employed through the whole Depression.
Yeah,
So you were,
we made it.
What did you do for fun back then?
Well, we used to go out and play hopscotch, you know, and then we'd play baseball and did different things, you know, that jump rope. And,
Did you have a big graduating class?
yeah, and there was about, I think there was about 96 of us. Yeah, there was a lot of us. 47.
47.
Yeah. One brother, Clifford, he went out in the service. He was in on a boat, and the boat got hit, and he got shrapnel in his leg. And he was laid up for a while when he got home, probably Germany.
How old were you when you met your husband?
20. A friend of mine, her name was, she was going with his brother, and she introduced me to Howard, which is,
oh, your name?
he's junior, Pittsford.
You went there right away?
Yeah.
Okay.
We, it was Probst Road we lived on first. Then we moved to Van Voorst Road. Then after my husband died from Van Voorst Road, then I had to look for someplace, so I moved into Pittsford.
You said there were a lot of changes in Pittsford. Do you think they were good changes?
Yeah, there's more activities there was. more buildings. They made a lot of subdivisions. It grew up quite a bit.
Tell us about getting kicked out of Sunset House, because that's a very dubious distinction, because I don't think too many people get kicked out of Sunset House.
Well,
Found that fun.
well, it was very nice. In fact, I got to know the people that helped very well. In fact, when I got better, they didn't think I was going to get better, but I fooled them. And I got real strong. So that's why they said, you got to move out to St. Anne's. But everybody says, we don't want you to go. I said, well, why don't you hide me up in the attic? And then I tell them you don't know where I went.
That's right.
Howard's Way.
Howard, do you have more than one?
No, we only got the one.
One more? Yeah.
But
What does it mean to be a Keuer?
well, I enjoyed it all my life. I mean, after I got married, I was happy about it. And then I was raising my 3 children. That kept me busy, and I enjoyed it very much.
Any message for your son as a parent?
Oh, he's good at, he's helped me a lot out of everything. Yeah,
You think he's been a good parent to his boy?
yeah,
Looks like a healthy, happy boy.
Yeah, he is.
That's a good sign.
yeah.
Any message to the great grandkids?
Well, if he has any, I hope they're in good health, and stays strong, and keeps doing what they should. I was born in 1927.
Yeah. So